So, another week gone, and this week started on Monday with me getting money from the nanny state of Sweden. Well, actually, not the state as much as my student loan for this month. And then I made a budget basically because I know I put some money to patch up my savings account to a degree because I've been taking too much lately. And then I made this okay, so I'm gonna have this, and I'm gonna have to make do with this kind of money until February 25th. And then like the next day I realized that's not gonna work because it's not gonna be enough pretty much. And then this week that was solidified by the fact that I went out to buy a ticket for Star Wars: The Last Jedi. I'm going tomorrow evening, and I've put up seeing that movie for ever since it premiered, which was like mid-December. I've been putting it up because I'm worried, and I'm fairly convinced now that Luke Skywalker is going to die. And they can't do that, but they probably will, because I think they want to. Even though the last movie was like this giant fan service thing, with just like, hey, remember the old movies, sort of, and it kind of. It copied a lot from the first movie. I don't think this probably won't copy from Empire Strikes Back, but instead it's going to go like too far in the other direction and kind of like, let's just throw these old characters away so we can push our new ones. Which is like, to me, I guess that's fair enough, but to me, like episode 7, 8, 9, I wanted 7, 8, 9 to be about Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Leia, and their continuing adventures about them and not these new characters. But seeing as they waited a little too long to make sequels, I understand what's going on. But still, it's like, I don't really want to see. I don't want to see it, but I have to see it, and I do want to see it, so I'm gonna go see it. So yeah, that's the thing. But school-wise, was pretty good. We had the first full week of school with this new class, new book. And I have to say, it's interesting that with the last book was Minano Nihongo, which is like a lot of new beginners, whatever. A lot of students used that for a long time, and it was fine. But it made us have a lot of papers. We had like a bunch of paper stuff. That we didn't like read from the book like at all, and it seemed a little like disjointed or something. But now we're really in the book, going step by step, sort of. So the studying feels a lot more focused, which I think is pretty good. On the other hand, of course, it's leveled up a bit. You can notice that, which led me to have a couple of tests where I had 70-something instead of 80-something, which was my standard. On the other hand, I also this week had a test where I got 50 out of 50, which was nice. Even though I actually did one little mistake in the last bit there, so I don't know why the teacher was nice to me at that point. And we had a kanji test for all the kanji we did so far, which is not that many, but. And I had 100% of those, which is awesome. Actually, the first time I've ever had 100% on those kanji ones, even though the kanjis are supposedly more difficult now. But it's like, there was a couple ones that I wasn't 100% sure that I did it the right way. And then right after the test, because I always do that, I look in my phone dictionary and I checked, and they were both correct. So I was like, okay, that's good then. But, there can always be something that I'm not expecting, some kind of error that I did that I didn't know that I was doing. So I think I still expected to get like, 98, 96 or whatever, but I got 100, and that was nice. Also in kanji news, even though we haven't studied that kanji lately, I've gotten a grip and learned this one part of a lot of kanjis that, this part, which is like, this a thing that kind of goes like this, but with and then a box, and then the other one just flipped. It's part of Kankoku, the Korea kanji. It's part of Erai, which means like awesome or something. And it's part of Chigao, which means different or wrong, which is, everyone thinks that's funny that in Japan, being different is wrong. But it's not, it's just different from what's correct and whatever. It doesn't mean what you think it means anyway. So that's a fun thing how you like, if I know this one bit, I can combine it with other stuff to make other kanjis. I have this. You learn one thing, but you have a gateway to 5 things, and the other one is that thing that has like, if you take iku and separate it and you put that in the middle, this kanji that means like to protect or something. I don't know any of the readings, but I see it around. It's just that when I try to remember the one that part, I could never remember it, but now I can remember it, so that's good. A few more kanjis I can add to the list. And speaking of lists, on my wall here I have 2 A3 papers full of kanji, and I've made an index of all of them. So I like counted the rows and up and down, like A to N, I think, and 1 to 20, and then did this whole index of the kanjis and the readings, and a few readings, not all of them. Some of them had readings that were totally irrelevant, like I'm never going to use them, like I just skipped them. And some of them just don't have certain readings, like I don't have it on the list, but it's just the kanji for I, like mind or consciousness or whatever. That only has I. It doesn't have a kunyomi, so but that's a special case. So that took a little while, but now I have those all. The point is also that when I want to add a new kanji, I don't have to look visually, just look through this whole grid to see if it's in there somewhere. I can just take the kanji and search for it in that document, and then if it shows up, then I won't write it, because then I'm doing it twice. Because that happened to me. I think like 3 times I wrote the kanji that I already had somewhere else, which is a waste of space, obviously. Another thing that happened was a bit of a milestone for me. I went to I've had a cold this whole week, but the only thing that's left now is coughing and a slight bit of. But coughing is annoying because I haven't been using the sleep breathing machine thing for 4 nights now, which is not good because I need to use it, because I stop breathing when I'm sleeping. Not good. But if I'm coughing, I can't use it. I can't fucking fall asleep. So I'll have to wait until I've stopped coughing, but I haven't yet. I think it's getting less, but it hasn't stopped completely yet. Yes, but what I was going to get to was that on Friday I went to the gym, even though I was like not 100% ready, sort of. But there's also the gym is the only place where I have access to a scale. So I wanted to know where I'm at now, and then I got good news on the scale. I went down to 128.6, which makes me have lost 10 kilograms since I moved here, which is awesome. And it's the first time I've been under 130 kilos in 6 years, which is also pretty awesome. And I'm hoping I can keep this going. That's pretty much all I have for this week. I didn't buy any games because I want to conserve money, and everything I said last week, how I pretty much bought most of the games I want anyway. However, I'm going to take up a few things that I forgot to talk about the last couple of weeks. When I went to Nagoya and Yokohama, and so on, a couple things happened that I wanted to mention, but I forgot about it, so I'm going to mention it now. The first thing was that when in Nagoya, I was out with my friend Kenichi Ikimori and Couchsurfing Kenny, as I call him. And we were in this izakaya with his friend, a couple of his friends, and that kind of stuff. And I asked this friend if she could help me with what's the difference between tadoshi and jidoshi, aka transitive and intransitive verbs. And she was like, I didn't expect her to be a Japanese teacher, obviously, but her reaction was like, jidoshi, tadoshi, what's that? And I was a little surprised by that, but when you think about it, it's like if you go to any random Swedish English person and you ask them, what is this grammar concept X? Usually they're not going to know, because it's the language you were born with, it, and it's natural that you know it, but you don't know, you can't just break it down into science. So it's understandable, but yeah. There was also one thing where in Yokohama, me and Homa-san, we were out at a restaurant, and kind of a mix between the two, a bar that has food or whatever. And we were going to leave, and I had trouble getting out from my seat, which I had to go in between 2 tables, and it was very tight, as it usually is in any country, really. But so I had to suck my gut in and just and try to get out there. out of there. And then I said like because there were like a group of like 4 Japanese businessmen or something sitting next to us. And so I said like out loud, sort of like, "Oh, Japan sure is tight, right? Like, Nihon wa semai desu ne." But and then they kind of laughed, and then one of them just went like, "Anta oki yo ne," or something. So it's like, yeah, you're big, and I'm like, yeah, that's true, that's true, touche, Japan. And finally, when we were in Yokohama and we were hanging out with the guy who used to work for Hudson, who gave me this autograph thingy, and his wife. We were talking about Takashi Meijin and Hudson Soft and Adventure Island, that kind of stuff. And one thing he said was really funny, that he talked about eggplants, because that was on the menu at this yakiniku place. But eggplants, there's an eggplant item in Adventure Island where it attaches to you and it drags your health down. So it's like a curse. It's bad. And it's, eggplants are also bad in Kid Icarus, although they're good in Ice Climber. But anyway, he told me that someone at Hudson apparently told him that when Adventure Island was new, Hudson got a lot of complaint telephone calls from parents who were angry that their kids stopped eating eggplant, because I guess they were playing the game and like, eggplant bad, so they didn't want to eat eggplant anymore. It's like, what do you have against eggplants, Hudson? What the hell? And Takashi Meijin, like, what the hell are you doing? So they had to like, and Takashi Meijin himself likes eggplants, so it's not like he dislikes them or something. So they had to like, like, no, we don't. They had sort of like, not post a statement, I guess, but like be like, we have nothing against eggplants. We have just so you know, and yeah, that was omoshiroi. Yeah, that was it. That was what I forgot about. So yeah. Next week is not much on the calendar that I can think of right now, but it's going to be another good one.